Hello and welcome to Adaptation, the vlog for film adaptations and the original material they're based on. Well, most of the time. But today we're actually going to do something a little different, and we're probably going to make this more of a regular thing. You see, in our podcast and in our other videos, we spent a lot of time reading and watching the most topical, the most popular, the newest thing that are on the market right now. Whether it's books, TV shows, movies, like everything. But we thought this would be a good opportunity for our hosts to show that we do watch and read other things, not just adaptations. Hollywood doesn't own us. So this is the first of Adaptation's What Are We Reading videos. Now, I'm not sure if you've noticed, you may have if you listen to our podcasts, but our posts have kind of a wide range of interests, so you might be surprised at some of these. But not mine. I'm currently reading Ali Khan's Matched trilogy, which is a series of dystopian books in which the society chooses your match for you, as in the person that you date and are allowed to marry. But of course, the main character falls in love with the wrong guy. So, drama. Big time. Now, Sarah is currently reading Mythology, written by Edith Hamilton. This is a collection of mostly Roman and Greek stories, but with a little bit of Norse mythology thrown in. Ooh, that sounds like a cool combination. Thor, God of Thunder! Not Marvel, though. Like, that's completely, no, not Marvel. Dorn has a bit of a curveball for us. I've never heard of this one, but maybe you have. It's A Gun for Sale by Graham Greene. It's a classic crime novel, but not really a whodunit, because we know that. We see it from the assassin's point of view, as well as from a hostage's and one of the detectives. It's one of those interesting cases where you really don't know who to root for. I mean, you should hate the assassin, but is that really always the case? Now moving on to Jennifer's first choice, which is a little bit of cheating, but we'll allow it. Mainly because her first choice is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. It's a story of an orphan who is raised in a charity school and hired as a governess, and she ends up falling in love with her employer. But it's not really a love story. There are definitely some shady dealings going on there. Now, Kendall is currently reading The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith. Oh, who are we kidding? By J.K. Rowling. But it took a little bit of time for that secret to come out. It's another crime novel about a private detective who's investigating the so-called suicide of his supermodel sister. But all the evidence starts to point to murder. Ooh. That was more of a ghost story thing, wasn't it? Remember how I said that Jennifer cheated a little bit? Well, she has apparently been listening and crying over Sarah's Key on audiobook. I should say Elle s'appelait Sarah, because she's been listening to it in French. You just had to be a little more cultured. This book is about intertwining stories of two women. A journalist in the present day who is investigating the story of Sarah, a woman who was captured and put in an internment camp. Apparently you should be prepared with tissues. Lots and lots of tissues. So remember how I said that Hollywood doesn't own us? The same cannot be said for HBO, considering that 3 of our hosts are reading through the Game of Thrones series. We couldn't help it. The numbers were overwhelming. I had to put it on the list. But come on. Political intrigues, incest, death, destruction, war, dragons. What's not to like? Plus, never have you felt so terrified to actually become attached to a character. Touché, George R.R. Martin. Touché. Now, I'm going to distinguish this by saying that these are books that we're currently reading. This doesn't mean that we actually have finished them yet, or even that we would recommend them, although I'm sure that some of these will make it to that list eventually. We don't know yet. We'd love to hear your views on other books that we should be reading, or any of the books listed here. No spoilers, though. So leave your comments in the section below. Also, links for our blog, Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook pages can be found in the info section. And don't forget to subscribe and check out our podcast on iTunes. This has been Adaptation. Keep reading.